Good morning, everyone. I have changed location. After doing a little bit of research, I realized that the community lake is open at 7 a.m., which is a little later than I'd really like, but 7 a.m. That being said, it is almost 7:30 because I sat in my car and watched YouTube Shorts for a bit. But it is a beautiful, um, what is it, Thursday morning now? Thursday the 2nd? Yeah, beautiful Thursday morning. This is, so I lied to y'all in the other video. I thought that was going to be the 7 video. This is the 7 video. So y'all can re-celebrate, or you can just say that you celebrated already. It matters not to me. I'm trying a setup without my music stand because I don't really need it for music. So what I've got currently is my iPad is a keyboard that bends just a little bit, so I'm currently recording that way. Plus, that means I get to use my mouse instead of touching the screen, which I prefer. Or my mouse pad anyway, my trackpad. Yeah, I wanted to see what it was like out here before I did all my practices here. So I'm currently sitting under an awning, as y'all can see in the video. If I like it, I'm gonna move out toward the lake so that y'all can actually see the lake in the background, because I figured that'd be kind of cool. So today it's just gonna be awning and some trees and the little playground behind me, but afterward we're gonna move down there. I might sit on the porch of the building, I don't remember what they call it, the building over there. I might just play in the sand. We'll see. Not as many bugs here as my house already. It's a little cooler because I'm under the awning. It's more humid, notably. It is way more humid here than it was at my house. That's about the only complaint I have, though. Actually, there's been very few bugs, and it's been rather cool, at least right now. It does help that there's no way for the sun to get in here unless it is like right at 6. So, got a little chip in my nail. So, yeah, I'm gonna do my thing. I'm trying to remember what we did yesterday. We did the triads. We didn't do anything other than the triads. I need to revisit the diminished triad, but I need to focus on the 7 chords and the chromatic scale today. That's what I need to work on. Yeah. So that's sorry, I'm really sleepy right now. I didn't have any caffeine when I went into work today, and I was good throughout work, and the moment I left, I just immediately felt this wave of sleep wash over me. I'm surprised I haven't fallen asleep yet. But actually, just to give y'all a little sneak preview of what the view is going to be like when I start practicing on the lake, that's what we're looking at right there. That right there. Sorry, I can't really do camera work right now, but yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at right now. It's beautiful. So, we're going to do that probably. I'm going to give it a couple days worth of trying, pretty much until someone complains, or give it maybe 3 days. If someone complains, then I'll move somewhere else. But the reason we're doing this is because Dad doesn't like it when I practice at home really early in the morning. And I'd rather practice early in the morning and go to bed than wait a couple hours, then practice, and then not go to bed, like something like that. So I am going to bed, but it's like I tend to procrastinate, so the earlier I get to the procrastinating part of going to bed, the better, usually. Usually I just kill my phone and then I go to bed. I know, I think it's terrible for your battery, but I don't remember. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I already warmed up a little bit, so I'm gonna just get right into it. There are a couple people here. None of them are right over here though, so I don't think I'll have to worry about privacy. So, I mean, if they find this video and they want to take it down because they happen to be in the background for whatever reason, I mean, I'll take it down. It's not a big deal, really. I mean, unless it gets a bunch of views, but currently my highest viewed video in the series was the day 4, and that actually used to be my lowest, and now it's the highest. It's sitting at 72 views, which is crazy. I don't know that many of my videos have gotten that many organic views. A lot of them get like 10 or even up to 30, but Never 70. Like, that's almost double my subscribers. So, in natural views, that's pretty good. Actually, my worst performing video is the one right before it, the day 3. That one still only has 3 views. It's really funny. At least according to YouTube Studio. So, yeah. Haven't weighed myself yet. Still sitting at about 305 because I've been eating a lot of sugar. In fact, I'm going to go enjoy a nice bowl of ice cream after I get done working out with my little brother. And then go to bed. And I had some chocolate pretzels because I didn't have anything to eat before dinner. Or before work. So, yeah, like, I'm not eating real healthy today. I'll probably gain weight, but I've been pretty close to 305 for the last few days. As soon as I get my act together, I'll probably start going down again. Really, I'm just looking for a more consistent schedule, but because sometimes sometimes I wake up at 11 a.m., by the way, 11 a.m. when normal people wake up, and that becomes a problem. So, yeah. I've learned that if I go to bed, I have to go to bed when the sun's up, or it's not going to work. So, yeah, man, if y'all could see the view, I could see it's kind of crazy. I can't wait to go down there, to be honest. I might go down there next time. I didn't bring my stand, so we're not going down there today. But, yeah, that's about it. If I cut this video short, it's because I have to work out at some point today. It's nothing like personal or nothing. I just have to cut it short. I don't think I will. I think I'll just tough it out. But we'll see. Yeah. I guess let's get into it then. No other updates as far as I'm aware. Nope. If I didn't say it yesterday, welcome to July. I don't know, what was I? 7 scales, or 7 chords, is right. Okay. Man, I'm starting to love this tenor sax a little bit, by the way. I like it more than my alto right now, which is uncommon. I forgot to get my metronome out. I realized that about as soon as I started going. I was like, I don't have a metronome. And I think I've said it before, but you should try and practice without a metronome sometimes. But when you're doing exercises, it's really better to have a metronome. It's when you're doing pieces that when you're starting to maybe not use it as much. But I'm not playing a piece right now. I'm just playing my scales, so that's all right. Moving up. This one will either be the easiest one or kind of in the middle. I think for this one it might be in the middle somewhere. The 7 one's not bad. It's like that's not too bad. It's a little harder, but Also helps. It'd be nice if I could hear the metronome too. There we go. Is that a mosquito? Oh, it's a mosquito. Get here, go on. Get out of my case. Butt head, go on, shoot. Trying to get in my case. Take mosquitoes home with me. No. That's probably the first con I've actually had. Is mosquitoes. It's still here. They're not active. There's just one, maybe two. Oh, those are good. All right, moving on. Today I've got my jug with me, and it is completely warm because it's been sitting in my car for about a week and a half now. Ugh, I hate warm water. I only like warm water when it's actually warm, but this is just kind of lukewarm and it doesn't even satisfy my thirst. It's nasty. I just saw a construction worker over there. Cool. I had a burp. Like that. What am I doing? It'd be hilarious if I knew the Bob the Builder thing, wouldn't it? I like to make fun with people. Not of people, with people. When it's a saxophone, I don't mean to hurt. I just like having fun. Verbal abuse is different though. All right, moving on up. I should tell you about that. Played this game recently. It's from a series you've heard of. It's the game you've probably never heard of, though. On the Game Boy, not the Game Boy Color, the Game Boy, the original one, there's this game called Final Fantasy Adventure. And it was actually the start of a series, but you didn't know that because it was labeled Final Fantasy. It's the start of a series. In Japanese, it's Seiken Densetsu, but it's the Mana series here in the U.S. The game you probably know if you've played any of the old Super Nintendo JRPGs is Secret of Mana. That's actually a sequel. It's the second game in the series. The first game is Final Fantasy Adventure, and I happen to have it available because I have an emulator right on my iPad. So I went and played it, and when I say it's probably one of the best games I've played in recent memory, that's pretty good. It was competing with Lufia and the Fortress of Doom, which I've told y'all how much I've disliked. It was competing with a couple Fire Emblem games, both of which were pretty good, but I never completed them because they were kind of difficult. One of them was... It was a different game. There was another one. I think I was doing one of the Zelda games at the time. There was another game I was playing that I really liked. But Final Fantasy Adventure has probably one of the best soundtracks, despite only having like 10 different tracks in it. It's actually quite interesting. And what you just heard there, on a Butchered, is called Overworld 1, but it's like the Overworld theme for like the first 80% of the game. After like a certain story beat, you move into a different piece, but I don't know how to play that one because it's a lot more complicated. But yeah, it's like I'm trying to play it by ear. I don't remember how it goes, but it's something like that. A little bit more difficult to learn because it has a lot of weird it skips certain like bars. Like there's not 4-bar phrases. There's like a 4 and a 3. It's weird. But what you heard there was the first Overworld theme, so it was like. Like that one. That was the first Overworld theme. That's probably the best track from the game. I'm currently arranging a medley of that entire game because there aren't many soundtracks in Game Boy, but I wanted to give it a little love because, I mean, I kind of sound like an old person when I say this, but y'all wouldn't understand what old games used to play like. I mean, especially stuff like on the Game Boy, like there wasn't time for dialogue. You had only so much data, and your graphics were 8-bit at best. So you had to do what you had to do. And so I appreciate games like that because they could be so good, so gripping, with like the worst dialogue you've ever seen because the mechanics are good and the story has some interest, even if the dialogue is kind of trash. Because that's all they had. So like it's like Final Fantasy Adventure is one of those games. I think I'd easily consider it an 8 or a 9 out of 10. It's a fantastic game. And y'all wouldn't have an experience like that on the PS5 or the Xbox. Actually, I don't even know what Xbox we're on right now. I think it's the Series X. Xbox Series X. I don't play Xbox. I haven't had an Xbox since the 360. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at now. It's like I grew up with really old games like Nintendo, Super Nintendo. I think like the newest console I owned when I was little was the Wii, which at the time was pretty new. But most of the games I had on the Wii were from the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo and the Nintendo 64 and the Sega Genesis. Actually, one of the first strategy games I ever played was Shining Force 2 for the Sega Genesis. Also a fantastic game if you haven't played it. I have a lot of games I could recommend, but those are kind of a couple if you're looking to get into emulators emulators you should download and try. Any Final Fantasy game, 7 and back, go for it. Zelda games, you're never going to find a bad one. Go for it. Zelda 1 might be rather frustrating, and Zelda 2 is notoriously the most difficult game in the series, but other than that, they're all pretty simple. Though, the Game Boy Zelda games, if they have hard puzzles, like I think Oracle of Ages probably has the hardest puzzles, those ones can actually be rather frustrating, so go into it with some experience before you actually play those games, or you're gonna fail. Those are hard games. Like puzzle wise, Seasons isn't as bad, but Link's Awakening and Oracle of Ages are both very frustrating games if you don't know what you're doing. Yeah, go get an emulator. I might have had a position against emulators at one point, but honestly, at this point, just go get one. I'm not saying go get one for the Switch 2, don't get one for the PS5, go get one for the Super Nintendo. You're never going to go out and buy a Super Nintendo. You can have one for free on your iPhone. Or I think they have it on Android, I don't really know. None of my family uses Android, yeah, go get an emulator. You can get a PS4 controller for like $30, even maybe something else if you want, and plug it in and play it. And you don't have to plug it in, use Bluetooth. There's something out there. Go get it. It's fantastic. You can get all sorts of games you've never played without it. And honestly, you'll probably find games you'll like more on the Super Nintendo than you might any games that release soon. Like, if you're into any gaming news like I am, it seems like every release sucks in some way or another. The graphics are terrible. The stories are terrible. The characters are unlikable. The gameplay is trash. It's just everything and their brother. And really, you don't have to worry about that. One, you can pick your games for free. And two, you can go and see decades of reviews for those games and see what you might dislike and see what you might like. And of course, it comes down to you as the player. But you can get a pretty good feel for what you're going to think about Earthbound. You're never going to get a good feel about what you think about, I don't know any games that released recently. I haven't been watching that hard right now, but you get the idea. So I'm going to get back to practice on That's not the right one. I think y'all hear it too, just in case. Alright. barrel we'll lock in on right here. I forgot what speed we were at, so we're going to go to 104 as soon as we're done with this exercise. See, sometimes you gotta take one step backward, take 2 steps forward. I don't remember where I got that from. I think it was from Star Wars or Clone Wars of all things. Goated show, by the way. I'm kind of sick of it because my little brother kept watching it over and over again, but that's kind of pretty much every good show that people think of. And then Jago was another one. I just can't stand it because my little brother watched it on repeat, and I don't like repeating myself, clearly. So you can tell by these practice videos where I repeat myself over and over and over again. That's why I don't like practicing. Whoa. Moving on up, because we've taken a pretty long time with just this one, and we still got 3 more to go at least. 4 more to go, my bad. That was good, except I didn't stop notes, but we're going to move on. Good morning. You look sleepy. That's okay. Me too. I don't know why. It's okay. There we go. We can move on now. I get the high notes. All right. Dominant scale, dominant chord, dominant 7 chord. There you go. I found the word for it eventually. We're already 30 minutes in. Yikes. All right. That I might need to do. Let's do that. We're going to do that little segment right there. That makes it like more usable. See, that's why I do that, because I need to focus. And if I have to focus real hard on it, then I ain't doing it right. You're supposed to focus at all times when you're playing, but I have a hard time doing that. So something I learned is the less I have to focus on it, the better I usually play it in the long run anyway. So. The mosquito just landed on my nose. You're not right now in the middle of something. That in my eye. That's better. We'll just shoot it right back to where we were. Yeah, there we go. See, we're cooking with grease now. The other thing I might have to work on is I don't know how much more exaggerated I need to make that. That's a rough transition. That's something all saxophonists struggle with a little bit. Players like me struggle with it a lot because I suck. Anyway. It's kind of funny because now I'm under the awning, you can hear it echo back and what it sounds like to be in a room, even though I'm not really in a room. So like, you might have noticed that that note is really reflective off the glass or off the ceiling. It's not glass. You hear it? That's because that's the note that sticks out the most. I was going over it the last time I talked about dominant 7 chords, but that note sticks out so much that's what makes the chord effective in the first place. I'm going to do it again. I'm just going to play it as random as I possibly can, and I'm not going to emphasize any of the notes. I'm just going to try and play these random notes in the chord. Every time it rings that middle, that note there, on this one it's an E flat. So it rings that note. Don't know why. It's just cool that that's the note it rings. It makes it very obvious and apparent that note is important. That's because it is important. That's the only reason this is a dominant 7 chord. It's that note right there. It's a very important note. Like when we did the other one, nothing really hung out. Maybe the tonic note. Not like nothing hung out, but you hear it a little bit. You might not hear it, but I hear it. Like you can hear it ring specifically by itself. No ring. Ring. I'm just out of curiosity. You still hear it ring there because it's still kind of a dominant note. Still hear it. So let's try one more. You hear it there too. Because that note wants to go down. That's the only reason that note is there. And it's so important that you have that note because otherwise all of those are different. All of those sound different in some way. But when it does go down, you don't hear it. You don't hear it anymore. I didn't even do that on a consonant triad or nothing. I did that on the most dissonant thing you can do. The fully diminished 7 chord. The fully diminished chord. That top note is so important, and you can literally hear how important it is because it will ring no matter how many times you play it and how many different ways you play it. I didn't make it ring that time because I played it like half as quiet, but even then I still heard it. It's still important. It's like that's how important that note is. That's also why you can't have more than one of that note at a time because otherwise it gets kind of gross. But it is such an important note, and now I think y'all can hear it, honestly. Like, it's kind of funny. Like, did you hear anything else ringing than that E flat? That note. Now, okay, so I might have been being a little bit dishonest. Let's try it in a different key. Okay, maybe it is just the resonance. Never mind. I lied. All of that is false. I am wrong. Because I tried it with a different one and it didn't work. But kind of my point still stands. Is that's probably the best way to hear that. Let's actually. You still kind of hear it when you do that one, or I guess the other one would be. You still kind of hear it there. I don't know why that would ring so much. That's weird. So I guess. Okay, so it just rings on concert D flat. Okay, never mind. I lied, but I guess it's a good example of what that note can do if you're in the right context. It's still fun. Ooh, it's the sound of the police. I really hope the park's not actually closed. It didn't say dates. It just said 7 through 10. So if he comes and says something, sorry. Oh, it looks like he's pulling out. Oh, maybe he's parking. I don't know. There we go. I think he pulled away. We're good. We're safe. We are chilling. Nothing to fear. That's the wrong device. I was trying to push the metronome with my iPad for a second there, and I realized it's not where the metronome is. Yeah, he gone. It's like, what was that sound? Oh, it's just a dude grooving. I can learn things by ear. It's really fun. Learning things by ear is really interesting skill because a lot of people can't do it. You have to learn it. It's quite a skill to learn. It's several years of learning. But once you do it, you can play any song if you hear it enough times and you practice it enough times. But you ain't got to read no sheet music. So a lot of musicians that you've probably heard of before have never read a single piece of sheet music, or if they have, it was just for an experiment. But they don't actually read sheet music because they play everything by ear. So, I can do it too. It's a lot harder for me to do it because I started on notation. I started on sheet music, but I can actually play by ear. So if I were to shuffle my playlist and then pick a song, I could play that song by ear if I listened to it enough times. So it's a good song. I was listening to Creed earlier, My Sacrifice. Let's see, how does that song? That one's actually kind of hard now that I think about it. I'll do a different Creed song. We'll do Higher because that one's a little easier. So, the verse. Never played that song before, by the way. Like, all I have to know is that song is in. It would be in my E major, but we're gonna talk in concert pitch for a bit. So D major. That's D major. Um, and the song starts on the fifth note of the scale. Um, Another thing you can do when ear training is you learn what's called solfege. You've probably heard it before in songs, like people make fun of it a lot because it's kind of a weird system, but each note of the scale has a solfege syllable. So in a diatonic major scale, you have do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Do being the same, just an octave up. So in solfege, the first three notes, the ba-da-da, is sol, la, sol, or sol, 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 la, sol, sol, fa, mi, fa, 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 mi, sol, fa, mi, fa, like that. And that's how you would learn it. Typically, I learned it through scale degrees and through just sound alone because I have what I like to call near perfect pitch. It's just really good relative pitch, which means that I can hear a note and know what it is. So, I mean, besides the fact that I played it, that's an A flat for me. That's a G flat for everybody else. Like if you sat at a piano and I was facing away from you, I could tell you what note you played. I can't do it real quickly, but that's why I know I don't have perfect pitch, but I can do it, and it's kind of cool. Well, anyway, so that's how I would figure out a song, is I would figure out the scale degrees, or I guess in most cases solfege, and then I'd go from there. So in the key of D, solfege sol, which is the fifth note, mind you, would be E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B. So I start on that first note. It's hard to do solfege, so like I'll start over. So then you go from there. So a little build up to the chorus. Like you can go from there. As long as you know what do sounds like. That's the fifth note, or that's how I do it. Learning by ear is a very good tool for all the musicians out there. I would recommend it. I do it all the time. So that's kind of when I wanted to start doing more jazz, is because I can already learn the pieces pretty quickly, but it's the hearing them and improvising them that's kind of the tricky part. So anyway, back to scales. I turned it up because we got to go a little faster. Okay, we're doing that too. We might not get everything done today. Oh well. There we go. Getting a little better. We're gonna come back to this scale. I think I'm gonna have a review day when I do my chromatic scale, because I gotta do whole tone scale again, I gotta do diminished scale again, and now I gotta do this one. So we're gonna move on. So minor 7. I really shouldn't talk about that one. I'll talk about it afterward. Actually, we're gonna stop on this scale, so I'll talk about it afterward. Alright, you know what? We're done. I'm just gonna be done for today. Honestly, I'm getting frustrated. I'm tired. I gotta go to the gym still, so I'm gonna be done. One thing I will talk about though is that last scale. That is a minor 7. I went over that. The minor 7 chord is actually what you're gonna see more of than the actual minor chord in jazz. In jazz, you will almost always see a regular minor 7 chord. You will almost never see a tonic or a minor triad, ever. It is so rare. And the reason for that is because of how the scale is built. So, when you're improvising over a minor 7 chord, as it were, you play the minor pentatonic scale over the first note and what would be the third note in the arpeggio, but the fifth note of the scale. So you would play the F minor pentatonic scale. So like that. And then you would play a C minor arpeggio, or minor pentatonic scale. I'm fried right now. Not high, just tired. Sorry. I didn't mean to say I was high. That's not what I meant at all. And the reason for that is because you might have noticed that the first 2 notes of each of those scales were 2 of the corresponding notes in the arpeggio. So for the first 2 notes of the minor pentatonic scale for F, followed by the first 2 notes of the minor pentatonic of C, that's the arpeggio. And the reason that works so well is because a lot of those notes are essentially the same or consonant in both. So the only note that's different between the 2 of them is G. There is an A flat in the F1, and then there's a G in the C1. And the reason you can have both is because both are consonant in this case. Both are very easy to use. So or same note. And you can have them both, and you also have A flat in both. So, and another little music theory thing is the most common chord progression in jazz is minor 2, major 5, and then you can either have a, if it's in minor key, that 2 is a diminished 2, and then a minor 1. If it's in a major key, then it's actually just a minor 2 and then a major 1. The reason you can do that is because those 2 notes we talked about are the third of the home triad and the root of the 2 triad. So you have G in this case. Is the 2 triad. That would be our 2 chord. If we wanted to be more jazzy, we'd make it a 2/7. Then it leads to the C chord, which is the 5, and sometimes when you're in a minor key, actually we're going to switch to minor key. So 2 diminished 7. Something like that. But it would lead to a 5 chord. And in classical music, you would most often see that as a major chord. So like that. But in jazz, you're allowed to have a weak dominant, or it would be a minor 5 chord. So you would go. Like that. And you would lead to 1 in that way. I played that for you, but you got the idea. And that works because G and A flat are so close to each other, but G leads and A flat stays. So you can do a lot of things with that G that you wouldn't be able to do if you were only using one pentatonic scale. Plus, that also handily shows you what notes to leave out. If you play your both, actually, neither of them include D flat. That is because D flat is not even a note in the C minor scale, and it is a note, but it is the 6th of the F minor, pentatonic. And that's because D flat and F minor pentatonic, or F minor, would be its relative major. So or oh no, it wouldn't. I lied. A flat would be. D flat just kind of sucks, is what I'm getting at. D flat is not a good note. Actually, the other note you're really supposed to leave out is if you're supposed to leave out B flat, which is weird because it's in both. But the reason you're supposed to leave it out is because that 4th note is kind of weird to sit on. So that doesn't have the same effect that the other notes have. So for context. That note it's very bright. Now, if you were doing the C chord, obviously you would use that B flat all the time because it's the 7th. But in F, that is what would be a suspended note. We talked about this yesterday. Like that. That would be the suspended note, and same thing for minor keys. But it kind of just sounds weird when you improvise with it. It has its use, like if you're leading to 4 or if you're leading to 2, then it sounds cool. And if you're leading even through 5, then it sounds cool. But on 1, it kind of stinks. So, yeah, leave out 4, leave out 6, and add in the blue note when at all possible. So, in this case, or if you really wanted to be funky, that is the minor 7. So, yeah. All right, I'm gonna call it there because it's an hour. I still have to go work out, like I've been saying, and honestly, I might not even at this point. It's 9 o'clock now. Is it? It's going to be when I get home. But, yeah. So, yeah, no updates. Thank y'all for joining me. I was kind of lazy today, but honestly, I've had to pee the whole time too. And I don't know. I don't know. Today wasn't like a good practice day. It's nice outside, kind of, and I mean the weather looks cool and all, but I just didn't feel it today. Yeah, sometimes you just practice and you don't feel it, so take it easy on yourself, guys. Like, it's okay. You practicing in the first place is already better than I would normally do. So, yeah, I'm gonna go home and debate whether or not I'm gonna work out. Abs are tight. So, yeah. All right. Well, thank you all for joining me. Bye-bye.